What's up guys, Barry Game here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today we're going to be going up in Dream Realm for day one Sigmund battles. Now remember, we start on lower difficulties. You see right now we're on common 2 on our account, not everybody is there, so using the formations list can be a little deceiving depending on the power level and how much you're grinding on day one. Most people should be able to get up to common 2, meaning you get the first bar of rewards, you're starting to work on the second one, and there's a few different teams that we can do. Either way though, there's pretty much one hero to be using as the main damage dealer here, and that is Shemira. Kind of makes me wish I would have got a Shemira above Supreme Plus back, but I wasn't really playing. I had to swap into her. This hero here is going to be your bread and butter versus Sigmund. Now, if for some reason you did get Shemira, I mean, early season, there's never a bad decision to go with Odie, especially since this is a single target anyway. Most of these teams I'm going to be showing you guys here today are variants on that. So number one is going to be the main Shemira team, and this is going to have twins in it. Sadly, twins is just used everywhere. If you haven't geared and gone for twins yet, you're going to have to just try to make as best of a situation as you can. It's pretty much a must-have to have twins in almost every single Dream Realm team, even more so than the Friesto or even Reinier heroes at this point. So placement here, we're actually going to be going for a bunch. You can see here we have a 4 times setup here. We have 3 maulers in our setup, using pretty much all the same supports we've been using early season to keep your team alive as long as possible. Smokey, Coco is the one that always makes a resurgence at the brand new season, same with kind of like Odie, but we're going heavy into this team, and Shemira is going to be the damage dealer. Now, a little note as well, we talked about Shemira. If you don't have Shemira, Odie or another single target magic damage dealer like Alsa maybe can be an okay substitute. Shemira is just going to really run the gambit. If you are not grinding a ton today, you're most likely going to be using the Light Call spell. If you're going to be grinding a little bit today, Shadow Blast spell is going to be pretty dang good in some situations, not necessarily today in this Dream Realm. However, if you do the big grinder, I think it takes up to like 500 or something. I can't remember the season. No, it might be 450 or something checkpoint. You're gonna have to grind a lot of the stuff in the season. You can get to the Elder Bow completely free. You don't have to do anything crazy. It just depends on your power. This is the one most are going to be using here. However, I'm going to show you guys this first team because I would say this is the free to play friendly team right here. I'm going to show you the battle, and overall, this tends to be one of the better setups. Not a huge distance behind the biggity best type teams out there, but again, you can see the amount of damage going out. Having double healers plus the damage reduction on Coco and the shielding is very, very big. For Coco to be part of this, you really do need her at Mythic Plus, so you're getting that shield as well, that giant shield to keep your team alive. Smokey and Mirky, even if you don't have a crazy good damage output on him from Mythic Plus, he can still be very, very good for the healing and attack buff. And Mikkel, of course, there for that attack buff and a crazy amount of healing as well. So you can see here, damage is pretty decent. I think we've gotten up to close to 60% with our best attempt. However, that was earlier before I upgraded my gear and everything. Make sure you guys are getting your daily grind done before this. Make sure you're going through the whole season, getting everything done and out of the way, and then you can start grinding this out. You see, if survivability is not as big of an issue, you can potentially substitute out a support depending on what your account looks like. But this is probably going to be our lowest damaging outcome setup of the day here. You can see we're getting to still pretty dang good, close to 50%. Yep, almost to 50% here, which is solid. Shemira, dazzling DPS. She's just doing the heavy workload. You can see Smokey Mirky really not doing much at all here. So that is the first team I wanted to show you. Next up, we have our second squad. It's going to be a little bit of an alternative. Reinier is going to be very good in this as well, especially since Smokey Mirky is not doing a crazy amount of damage or anything in this one. And it does seem like swapping the Coco for some reason is ending up working out the best. I've tried swapping Shemira and things like that. It just doesn't seem to be that great. And again, we're going to stick with the Light Call spell. So if you're an older player, you're probably like me, you have a Mythic Plus Reinier just sitting around. You do need that Reinier to be Mythic Plus to make this work, because you're doing this swap not for the healing portion of it, you're doing it for the bonus damage we're doing to the boss. Now, this one should do slightly better than I would say the free to play option. And again, it really comes down to if your team can stay alive with the Reinier versus the Smokey and Mirky. You might just be working out better. The Smokey Mirky is keeping all of your heroes topped off and alive, and that is, at the end of the day, the most important part of this combo. The Reinier dying isn't a huge issue, of course. He's really just there for the beginning battle swap to increase the damage taken by the boss, and let's see how this turns out. So good using Coco again. Coco's been one of my favorite heroes since the launch of AFK Journey. You see right there, we get about to like, Reinier dipped super low before that Coco shield went off. That was a little sketchy. So again, it may work for you, it might not. We got 20 seconds left. I think we're gonna break the 50% mark compared to the previous team with Smokey and Mirky. I think Reinier is the go-to on this one. If you do have both the twins and Reinier, this is going to be the strategy to go for. And yeah, we're definitely going to break the 50% mark. However, it's still not going to be coming to the top of the leaderboard type scores. So just keep that in mind. This one is a better version of the team if you can get it to work. And like I said, not really much to look at here. Shemira is the damage dealer. I got a couple other alterations that you can be doing if you have the bow. So Hugin strategy. This one is actually one that can work out as well, providing more shielding. And you can see here, we're actually not running like any healers in this squad. This, however, is going to need the Elder Bow and all the top scores for the pay to win and even free to play stuff. You will do better with the Elder Bow on this one, so just keep that in mind. We're going to jump into this. Some people have had a lot of success with this one. I have not overall, but the additional shielding potentially can work decently in this strategy. I've just found that Reinier goes down very easily, and it's really hard to keep the shields up on everybody because you don't have a ton of healing in this setup. It's going to be much slower healing, so you're really relying on Coco's shields to be timed very well with the big damage that's coming in. You see Hugin is basically on life support, but he has a gigantic shield during that time, so he can keep himself going. Damage ramping up pretty solid as well. Again, I'm not a fan of this one, but if you did build Hugin and you want to get use out of him, you can make it work. You can see right there, we lost the twins, so our damage is going to start falling off here a little bit. We might still break the 50% mark just because Shemira's self-healing is crazy good as well. And of course, we still have our two shielders. Keeping her alive is the most important part. The supports are very minor in your overall damage output on this one, but it's actually working pretty decent compared to our free-to-play options. Now, this one is a little trickier because not everybody went for a Hugin last season. 54% is decent. It's a little bit better than our previous one. Again, Shemira is the main highlight, but let's get to the one we really want to see. This is what people have found to be the highest damaging setup, the best pay-to-win setup. And this is, of course, going to have twins, Shemira, Mikola, Coco, and the Reinier using that Elder Bow. And really, it's just the damage bonus from the Elder Bow that's making the biggest difference here. And it's not really even pay-to-win. It's just Shemira, Reinier, Elijah. It's kind of the most heavily investment in harder to get heroes, whereas the other ones were, did you get the champion, the hero, when they came out? So we'll just see how this goes. This is where I've gotten my best score so far, and we might get a new record for us today just because we've been grinding. If you really care about ranking on the leaderboards today, you're going to want to keep grinding, keep collecting that AFK resources, the training manuals, and do your attempt at the last second before reset, because people are going to be more powerful at the end of reset than they are at the beginning of reset. So don't just do your beginning of reset battle and then finish it for the next few weeks to months. You're going to want to get a little bit more involved in this. So we did have Elijah and Lila go down on this one, which kind of just shows the free-to-play Smokey and Mirky version is very, very good for survivability if your account is a little bit weaker. And we did stall out here towards the end. So we got about 54% again with this team. One thing I do want to show off, the formation that I was using is very, very similar to. So this one is like our original one. However, some people are still using Star Shard spell. Again, just use whatever is working for you best. You can literally just hit the skip button, see if some number comes up better for you. You can see our best attempt was 59%. So again, it's just really dependent on what you got. We can show you this one more time, hit a skip to show you guys what the artifact difference is. Drops it a little bit. There is RNG involved in this one, so hopefully you can get your teams to work out perfectly. And if you really need to push, you got extra attempts. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys next time.